Hooray, hooray. Good morning, beautiful friends. Welcome to this fun little live stream we're doing. I'm here to answer any questions that you have about business and marketing and e-courses and writing books and neurodiversity and parenting and spirit and creativity and productivity and all the things, all the delicious things. If you can see this, if you want to share in the comments, if you could just say something in the comments just so that we can see, we are streaming to Facebook and YouTube. Yay! And we can see comments coming in from both. So if you want to share, just say hi in the comments. That way we'll know that everything is working out beautifully. I'm joined today by the gorgeous Mimi, who is one of our support fairies. Thank you for being here, Mimi. So she'll be in the comments and just helping out with all of the things. I'm so grateful. And some of you may see Mimi around the socials or in the emails, the inboxes, all the beautiful things.
Yeah, just poking around, saying hi to everyone.
And you do so great at it.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Okay, everyone can see us. Hooray, hooray. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Sophie. Hi, Freya. Yay. I'm so grateful. So, I'll get everything set up. I'll let Mimi not have to worry if she's picking her nose or coughing into the stage. She would never. She's too graceful for that, guys. Too graceful. Okay. So we also have some emails that were pre-written in as well. But what I would really like to do to start, if you feel like it, is just have a moment of connection and meditation. And it kind of says, "Ohayou gozaimasu" from Japan. "Ohayou gozaimasu, genki desu ka?" Okay, so if you want to take deep breaths, if you want to put your hand on your heart, your solar plexus, or your belly, or any combination, and just taking deep breaths down into your belly. And if you let your exhale be longer than your inhale, that sets off it can help soothe your nervous system. So if you breathe in for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale for 6. Breathing in for 4, exhale for 6. And continuing to do long, slow breathing, inhaling, and then the longer exhale. God, Great Spirit, all that is, what would you have me say? What would you have me do? How would you have me see things for the highest light and good of all? I'm willing to see things from a new perspective. Please use me as a vessel to share whatever anyone needs to hear right now, deep in their heart and in their soul. May each of us feel connected to our own divine wisdom and our peace in our own beautiful bodies. When you're ready, if you want to just rub your hands, rub your head, rub your shoulders, rub your chest, anything that's nice, just to bring yourself back into your body. Bless. So I'm so glad that we get to spend this time together and connect in this way. And I think the message that I think the angels most want you to know right now is that they see what you're doing. They see how hard you're working and trying, and how much love and effort you're pouring into the world. And they know that it's not easy. They know that things can feel full and overwhelming and hard. They know that life is a test and an exploration. For me, I believe that we all chose to come here and to experience all of life. And if you see us as like God, Great Spirit, the Great Goddess, all that is, it's like we are one. We're an ocean of divinity. And in that state of oneness, we really know we know ourselves. It's just like an ocean of love and wisdom and understanding. And we don't have individual identities in that ocean. And then what if at a certain point an opportunity came up to go on a great adventure of the soul and to individuate from the great ocean and go and experience life and all that is with its blessings and its challenges and this great adventure. The point where you forget that you are part of that ocean of love, the fact that you forget you have this soul amnesia, that you are God and that you are loved and that you are divine. And the fact that we all put our hands up to say, yes, I want to do that. I want to remember, well, I want to forget that I am God, that I am part of all of this, just so I can go on this experience to feel all of life and forget all of that, and then slowly remember again. And then at the end of this, going back to that great ocean of love. So I believe that's like for me, that feels true when I think about it in my body, and that like we're part of this great ocean of love, and we're just like, yes, we are one, we are love, we are unity, we are all of this. We are compassion, we are understanding. And at a certain point, we're like, oh, I want to go on an adventure where I forget all of that and have to explore all of it again and remember all of that and experience every part of being a little droplet from the ocean that's forgotten, that is ocean. And slowly, slowly making our way back to the ocean and remembering. Brings me so much gladness in my heart when I think of this. So I wish to say to you, hello, fellow droplet. Do you remember? Do you remember the time that we're all just in that ocean together? And that I know that it is hard and overwhelming and full on. And we've chosen this wild journey of forgetting and discovering all the parts of loneliness and hardness and overwhelm. But we are all making our way back to the ocean. And there's a part of us that is the ocean right now, already. Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if you can resonate with that at all. Katrina said, I need so much of this right now. Thank you. Hello, fellow droplet. We are making our way back. And also, we're already there. We're already there. We're already still in the ocean. We're just having these hallucinations. That is life. It's just a really vivid one that goes for a really long time. It's a wild dream. Sophie says, absolutely. Hello, droplet. Oh, hello, special droplet. Belinda says, oh, so beautiful. I definitely can resonate with all of that now. So with those things in, I'm here to answer any questions that feel like they're pulling on your soul right now. Yeah. And I wanted to share a little bit as well. For me, you may notice this is like a little bit different energetically to other live streams that I usually do and different webinars. And they're usually, quite high energy, and I speak a lot faster and full of irreverent stories. And the irreverent stories will probably still happen, and I probably will still speed up at some point. But over the last couple of weeks, I feel like I'm going through this transformation, like of a caterpillar turning into mush and re-emerging, and this kind of new era of myself emerging. And it's fascinating because it's an old era of myself. For those who've been around for a really long time, you might know that I started my business as Goddess Leonie, and I only spoke about spirit and creativity and the inner work. And then over the years, I got asked more and more to share about the business and the marketing stuff. And I was really happy to do that. And that was fun and exciting as well. And now I'm feeling this big pull to reawaken the part that is more soul-led and weave more of those discussions in. And I'm still happy to talk about the business and the marketing and all of those things, but really tending to this inner stuff as well, which is so important. Sophie says, I love all your flavors and seasons. Yeah, I go through so many of them as a Scorpio. I feel like that's my jam. The transformation and the retransformation and the new evolution. The next evolution that's being called forward. Anakani says, I needed some guidance on how to talk to my guidance angels. I tried meditating with my self mentors in a quantum leap this morning for guidance. I just need some help making sure I'm on the right path. Oh, for me, I feel like, how to say this? For me, I feel like it's too much pressure if I demand an answer right then and there. And that the confirmation either way, like it's, in some ways I need to be more open and see what seeds and blooms. So when I go to sleep each night, I put my hand on my heart and I do that same prayer that we did before. God, Great Spirit, all that is, what would you have me say? What would you have me do? How would you have me see things for the highest light and good of all? I'm willing to see things from a new perspective. I think it helps to remind myself that I am willing to see things from a new perspective and that the answer that they give me may not be the one that I am wanting. And that I might be stuck on an idea of what I want and that it's got to look that way. And I want to remind myself again and again that it might need to look a different way and that I'm open to that and it could be the best thing for all. You know, it's interesting for me when we were going through the thinking of returning to Canberra, there was a part of me that was so resistant to it purely because I'd already thought in my brain, no, we'll just stay here until the kids had finished school and they'd stay at the school that they're currently at. Even though things at the school had changed and we absolutely needed to move them, they've cancelled their arts and music and drama program for all of high school, which is no. Sorry, what? So I was so stuck in this idea, no, but I've already made this internal commitment that this is what we're doing. Even though external situations had changed, even though it was kind of obvious that we needed to make a change of some kind. And I didn't need to stay beholden to a previous idea that I'd had for myself and for my family, that I could open myself up to what might be best next. For me, when I talk to my guidance angels, usually they don't answer straight away. Usually it takes time and it's a process, and part of it is getting comfortable with myself, and part of it is following whatever step it is. Sometimes I'll just say, can you just tell me like the next right step, just the smallest little idea? I'll follow it. I promise I'll follow it. And whatever idea that comes up next, trusting that that's okay, this is the mission they're giving me, I guess I'll do that. When I created Midas Touch last year for the Academy, it was just a mission from the angels. So they were like, this is what you're creating and this is what it's going to be called. And I was like, well, shit, I've already got other things on. Actually, oh. And even my assistant was like, oh, like we have already pulled on so much for this month, and then you've got to do this as well. Like, that's not a great idea. And I was like, I get that. And I also am not a fan of this timing. And this is how, like the angels have given me this mission. And she was like, right, okay, all right, that's fine. We'll just work through it. And we did. And it ended up being so perfect for what was needed. And it was a lot of work and it was a wild thing to pull off. But it was exactly the next right thing. And in some ways, I talk about this evolution that I've been going through, this new energy that's come up over the last couple of weeks. And it hasn't just been coming up for these last couple of weeks. It's, obviously more intense, but one of the first things that it came through was as Midas Touch. That was absolutely an invitation from the angels for me to step back into that space, because Midas Touch is like an 11-day meditation journey. And I was so uncertain and a little bit nervous, kind of the same energy that I feel a little bit at the moment of stepping back into this part of myself. And yet I know it is perfect for what's needed for me next, and the ways that it's helping me involve the ways that it's helping me evolve and step in and embody even more parts of myself. It's beautiful. So for me, when I get that guidance from the angels, usually it sort of just pops in as an idea. Sometimes it happens when I'm in the shower. Often it happens when I am drifting off to sleep. And one of the things that I do personally is, when I want to talk to the angels more, I go to bed earlier. And so that I can, even if I'm not that tired, like not tired, I'll go to bed and then I'll just drift for a couple of hours before I go to sleep. And that's a time to sort through the things that are happening in me. And also it gives time for the angels to drop in ideas and let me flesh it out fully formed in my head. So those are the ways that I like to connect with my angels, in those places where you're a liminal and you don't have to do anything else. Like it's space to let your mind run free a little. Okay, there is a Facebook profile. It's called Tarot Reading, asking people to DM them. No, thank you. I appreciate that you may be doing, yeah, maybe actually, would you be able to just ban and remove them? That's not a vibe. Okay, Robin says, Lionsgate felt like a culmination of so many weeks and months of shifting energy. Oh, you're right. That was 8th the 8th. Timing works out. Timing works out. Belinda says, I too am in this transmutation and transformation big time. It's like I've been a different version of myself so long and it's been needed, but now that is dissolving somewhat to a new me, but it's also to the old me, the essence that's been there all along, and I can see it clearer. Yeah. And isn't it a beautiful thing that we can let go of old versions of ourselves and step into the next version? What a beautiful adventure we're on. How good is this? Ashley says, I absolutely relate to the last few weeks, feeling that I'm transforming into what isn't so clear. I'm practicing surrendering. One thing that I have done is, and I'll share this practice with you, and you can apply it in whatever way feels good to you. So, since the beginning of the year, my husband and I have felt quite strongly that we needed to move back to Canberra and that it was the next right step for our family. And when we would look at schools and houses, we couldn't find the right fit for us. And part of that's got to do with just, of course, that external situation of a housing crisis and a housing shortage. And we, no matter how hard we were trying, it just felt like we were just keep hitting brick walls. And so each night when I was going, before, like in bed, I would lay there and I would call a circle of the highest selves of all of our family members, the 4 of us, myself, my husband, and our 2 children. And I would say, can we, inside, I would think, okay, I now call upon the highest selves of myself, my husband, my 2 children. And I also call upon the Deva of our family, who holds kind of the energy of our family. And I would just see how everyone's energy was sitting. At the start, everyone was sort of looking away in different directions and feeling kind of uncertain or not like on the same page. And then I would say, okay, for the highest light and good of all of us, what is needed next? And if Canberra is the right next step for all of us, may our angels and guides and our ancestors help us build an energetic bridge. And I would sort of visualize seeing this sort of kind of golden road going from us all the way across Australia and down to Canberra. And I would say, may this energetic bridge help us to find the right school that's got the right spots for the girls. It helps us find the right house at the right price. And all of this happens in the right timing. And if there's anything that needs to happen, please let me know and I'll help do that. And it was really interesting because I did this process over and over every night for months and months. And the energy was shifting each time. And I would also notice one of my kids was originally very excited and then wasn't, and because they were working through some big stuff internally. And so I'd keep on seeing how this would happen in this visualization. And so I knew, to provide more emotional support to her at home and check in with her and help her get more on board with it. And also from an energetic front as well, I work with Kerry Rowett from Align and Attract, and she's a kinesiologist, which here in Australia means something different than American kinesiology. Here in Australia, it's like they use muscle testing and a whole bunch of different healing modalities to help uncover what's going on internally. It's like an intuitive healing process. And Kerry is also just deeply intuitive and wise, and a Reiki master as well. And so I have sessions with her regularly, and that's really important to help me keep my mindset clear and also let go of any energy blocks that are coming up my way. And so I'd come to her and I'd say, okay, this is what I'm seeing. Some of us are ready, some of us aren't. What needs to happen next? And so she would also help on the energetic front with supporting my family, and especially the ones that extra needed it, and doing Reiki for us as a whole family. And it turned out so beautifully. And this whole process for me of uncertainty and frustration and deciding to make this move and not being sure how it would work out, and really having to get into myself and into my own intuition and continue to do this energy work. It's been the most beautiful process, and I'm sure has helped kind of reawaken these parts of me. And it's also astonishing the ways in which things have worked out. It feels very, very magical and soul-led, the processes that have happened. So, for example, we couldn't work out the house thing. And I was really fixated on the idea of one of my kids going to a school that has very, very strict catchments. And it's fascinating. I don't know why I got fixated on that school, especially since my kid didn't want to go there. And that is astonishing to me, that I would think that, because it's a collaborative process. And my kids always have to be on board with the school decisions. And I was just pushing so hard. I just got fixated on this idea. And eventually my husband was like, I don't know why we're pushing so hard on this. Like, one, we cannot find a house in that catchment for love nor money. We cannot find a house. It's it is very difficult to find a home. We cannot get one that we need in that area. And she's actually it's not a kind of school that we have prioritized as a family before. And it's not something that our kid wants to go to. So we need to open ourselves up to what is actually true and what is needed and what's right for our kid, not just what you're thinking in your brain. And I'm so grateful. For me, I do not have a husband who is kind of subservient to my energy. Like, in some ways, like, he is like, if like, I have a very strong energy. I have a very, it's kind of pushy energy. It can be quite dominant energy. I have a lot of ideas, and I think I'm right a lot. And I am right quite a lot. And sometimes when people have that, the relationship with their partner is one of their partner's like, great, I'm so glad someone's in charge. And they just support that person. And we'll just do like at the beck and call of that person. And I fantasize about that. That'd be amazing to have somebody who's subservient and just there for the supporting role. For me, though, energetically, I have a partner who is very strong in his own energy and will not be told what to do unless he is absolutely sure that it's the right thing for him as well. And if he sees something happening, something that I'm doing or just something that's happening in the world that he is not comfortable with, he has to tell me. Like, there is nothing that can stop him from telling me that. And it's such a good ego balance for me, because I have had to learn this lifetime how to listen to other people. That is not something that I was taught in my childhood, guys. Listening, what the fuck? And how to be in collaboration with somebody else. And also, this is astonishing, but there are times where I am wrong, guys. I'm actually dead on wrong. And it is my husband that has been like, whoa, no, you need to change course. And part of the ego in me is like, oh, why am I being challenged? Why do I have to change ways? I just want somebody to say yes to me. And that does not work. And instead we have this partnership where he challenges me. And I don't know if I challenge him. Do I challenge? Surely. This is how oblivious I am, guys. I'm sure I do. And yet somehow we come together in grace and developing grace and working out how to be. And together we are stronger because we can bring in these very diverse aspects of ourselves. So I was fixated on this idea of this school and this catchment, despite it not being the right fit. And my husband going, no. I think we need to change course. He tried for a while, like, okay, that's what we'll do. And the more he sat with it, and the more he explored, and the more things weren't working out, he was like, this is not it. And he would check in with our kid. He's actually more emotionally intelligent than I am. Crazy. And he would come to me and he'd say, our kid actually isn't on board with this. And it's astonishing to me because usually I'm connected and I get that and I know that, but I wasn't. So I had to be willing to see things from a new perspective. And that is where that prayer really came in handy. That prayer of, I'm willing to see things from a new perspective. To go, oh, that perspective I had wasn't working. It was not helpful for anyone. And then opening myself up again to the options, and instead of just what I'd gotten fixated on. And the way I found a house was absolutely from that prayer, because I do that visualization of building the golden bridge. And I'd say to the angels, what would you have me know about helping to build that bridge to Canberra, the right school with the right spots for the kids and the right house, the right price and the right timing as well. And it just dropped down as a little message into my head of what to do. And I posted I got very clear about going back to a very small area that we used to live in, still in the Facebook group that I was there. And I wrote a post and I said, it was just this message. It was like, write a post. There was no houses available in that area. And I was like, oh, but I'm feeling like we should go back there. But there's none there. Okay. Angel said, just write a post. So I wrote a Facebook post. We would like to move back into the area. We've already lived in this area on this street. And where would you like it is if anyone's thinking of selling in the next 6 months, could you let me know? And there's no houses available. Everyone wants to stay there. And immediately I got like 5 responses, and there was a bunch of them that immediately hit all of the things that we needed. And it was the first time we'd actually seen houses that actually hit the things that we needed in Canberra. I was like, oh my God, finally we're on the right path. And this is where collaboration works so beautifully. And I told my husband, I was like, I did this post. I know this is crazy, but I asked people if they would sell me their house. And he was like, oh my God, amazing. And I was like, I've got these houses and they actually fit. And he's like, oh my God, amazing. Would you be able to message your friend that lives just like 2 streets over from where we used to live and just ask how the area is going and just make sure that it all feels good still and it's exactly the way it used to be? Obviously there'll be changes, but there's no negative changes that have happened. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And I messaged her and she was like, oh my God, yeah, you're moving back. Also, did you want to buy my house? Because they're selling. And I was like, yes, I do. So we're buying a house from a friend. I've been to that house before. It's a couple of streets away from our old house. And it is astonishing how beautifully it's all worked out. And we're like 1 block away from my husband's cousin and his 2 daughters who are the same age as my kids and about the same age as my kids. And it is beyond beautiful how it's all worked out. And it feels like complete synchronicity. If I hadn't kept asking the angels, if I hadn't kept on just asking for the next thing, if I hadn't kept building that bridge energetically in my mind, I don't know if we would, I still don't know if we would have be there. And we just got notice 2 days ago, and we've just got letters of offer from my kids' new school. And it is their old school. It's a school that they used to go to, well, that my eldest used to go to. And I feel very, very excited. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It feels so lovely. Oh, my beautiful Tash Corbin says, this is a lovely story, but it's regressing my stages of grief. I'm sorry. The angels have pulled me in this direction. Tash, for those who don't know, please, everyone should know Tash Corbin. Tash is the creator of the Heart-Centered Business Conference that's happening next week, and I'm speaking at that, and that will be so beautiful. And she's one of my dearest local friends, and she has not of course she's super sad that I'm leaving, and I'm super sad that I'm leaving Tash because she's just the most beautiful human. I love you so much too. And you can just come visit me when you're like flipping houses in Canberra. Oh my God, you could take Heart-Centered Business Conference on the road to a Canberra event as well. Okay. Belinda says, this is so relevant right now. Last year, my house that we were renting burnt down. We lost all our things. Oh my gosh. Now, a year later, our lease is up. We can't get anywhere re the housing shortage. So we displace. We put things in storage next week. So everything's uncertain. I've been stuck in and out of trying to work it all out. I know it's all part of the chapter and being open to that, which I don't know. Thank you for sharing because it's really helpful right now. And I do also need to ... I'm so sorry, but I can't see the rest of it. If there's a question or anything, please post again. Oh my gosh, you have been through so much. I'm so sorry that your house burned down. You lost everything. My gosh, what an intense trauma you have been through and such a huge shock. And I'm sending you so much love. And also, I'm also excited for what's next and what's going to be birthed forward in this process and what transformation is going to happen next. And I feel called to tell you, Belinda, about my grandmother. And so my beautiful grandmother, Marion, who's one of my life's inspirations, who's now one of my guides, but it's always been a guide and just such a light. So for many years when she was in her first marriage and kids, she was itinerant and an itinerant worker. And this is just, it was before, no, okay, so it was during the Second World War. And after that period as well. And so her and her husband and her kids, her young kids, they would just need to go wherever was needed next, wherever their work was next. And, the economy was shite and the world was in such rigmarole, and it was just very intense all around. And she just had so much adaptability in terms of like, okay, what's needed next? Right. Well, that's going to be fucking hard, but whatever, we'll get through it. And so for a period of time, for a long period of time, she was living in a tent in Western Queensland while her husband worked on a project out there because they just needed to go wherever the work was. And she would raise her kids, and she was like, you know what, it was really hard, but it was also really good. And, she had memories with her kids, and also, the friends that she would form along the way and the joy that she could bring along with it. And even at one point, they had to go to Brisbane for Christmas, and they didn't book accommodation, and then they got there and they couldn't get anything. And it was just like, the whole, I'm not a Christian, but obviously we all know the stories. Heard the stories a bit about a donkey. Like there was no room at the inn, and they couldn't find a place to stay. And she had 2 little kids and a husband, and she was like, what am I going to do? And she was like, I'm going to go into the police station and I'm going to ask them to sleep in a cell for the night. And that's what they did. And she said, and we stayed up all night because there was mosquitoes and midgies everywhere, or just trying to keep them off the kids. But it's memory, And she did what was needed in the time. And she went through so much adversity. And here's the thing, adversity and challenges and the waves of life in terms of abundance and recession and work and housing and drought and famine and bushfires and all of the things. It is a cycle, and it has been happening since the beginning of time. And here is the incredible thing. We, as humans, are built for it. And you come from a long lineage of a 100% successful lineage of humans who have gone through some shit and worked it out. And they have gone through the famines and the drought and the days of abundance and the good economic periods and the bad economic periods and the wars and all of the fuckery. And you have persevered and you have sustained through hundreds of thousands of years. How incredible is that? A long line of ancestors who have done the fucking thing even when things are hard. We are built for this. We as humans are innovators and creative and problem solving and adaptable. Even when it doesn't feel like we're adaptable and we don't want to be adaptable and we don't want to be innovative. Nobody wants to be innovative. Nobody wants to be like creative when times are hard. We only want to be creative when times are good. And yet we are built for this anyway. So I feel like my grandmother Marion is just because she's the ancestor that I knew. And yet her story echoes through all of my ancestors. And, when you think about, isn't it astonishing? All of our ancestors have lived through all of the history, all of the crazy shit that's gone down. They've lived through the fucking Great Plague, guys. They've lived through fucking massive wars. And they've lived through, like, colonialism and settlers and, like, just the craziest shit, the Dark Ages, the medieval times. Our ancestors lived through all of that. And they survived. And they got children to survive through it. Like, how incredible. How astonishing. Of course you're going to make it through this. Of course. Your ancestors have, like, this is some crazy shit. But some of your ancestors knew Neanderthals, and some of your ancestors fucked them, guys. And how do we know that? Because many people have Neanderthal DNA. You can get it tested on 23andMe. Like, that's how long our people have been around for. That's how long your ancestors have been successful, since the days that they could fuck Neanderthals. And this is astonishing. I am so proud of you and your people for all the things and the fucking Ice Age and all the shit. Were we around in the Ice Age? Yeah, we were. I feel like my history is not great. Need to read Bill Bryson's A Short History of Nearly Everything again. Okay. So most of all, I just want you to know, no matter what you face, your ancestors have faced far worse. And guess what? They fucking nailed it. And this is exactly what you're going to do. And I'm so proud of you. Trisha says, will you please repeat the prayer you asked to the angels for guidance on how to find your ideal house? Sure. So for, this is just a prayer that I ask every single night. It's applicable to all. And you can change it, modify it, however works for you. God, Great Spirit, all that is, what would you have me say? What would you have me do? How would you have me see things for the highest light and good of all? I'm willing to see things from a new perspective. So that's my all-purpose prayer. And then when it came to finding a new house, that was when I would do the visualization each night of calling in our the highest spirits, the highest selves of all the members of our family, and asked to work with the deva of our family as well. And then seeing that bridge between us and like the next house, the next thing that we wanted to create. Say, if this is like the next right step, how can we build this bridge? What's needed next? Just leaving it as an open-ended question. And I don't expect to answer instantly. Usually it comes when I'm dozing off, when I'm in the shower, when I'm in that sort of liminal state. Anna Carney says, thank you for the recommendation for Align and Attract book. The first chapter almost had me in tears of how it felt just reading the first few pages. Thank you for your previous response. I'll give it time to come to me. Yes, I highly recommend Kerry Rowett's book, Align and Attract. It is beautiful. It is absolutely, like when I read it, I was like chills. Like it is absolutely a downloaded work and speaks completely to us and our people. It is just magical. Tash says, oh, I love that book. Kerry Rowett is a treasure. She is. And Kerry is speaking at the Heart Centre Business Conference next week as well. Hooray. I can't wait to see our Kerry. Oh, I love our Kerry so much. Oh, thank you so much for popping that in here. Align and Attract book by Kerry Rowett. It is beautiful. Okay. Belinda says, funny story. When Leonie first said Canberra in this live, my first thought was, oh my God, how does Tash feel about this? Yeah. Honestly, Tash has behaved exactly how I would behave. And it brings me so much gladness because she's got zero chill about it. Tasha's, I made her a card that told her off really harshly followed by, congrats and safe travels or whatever. Yeah, she gave me a beautiful going away gift and it was like, fine, fuck off and abandon me, whatever, you absolute mole. Honestly, and it made me feel so loved because if she was just like, I'm so happy for you, I think there might have been a part of me that was like, she doesn't really love me then. She's like, because she's not devastated by this, but she's been devastated. And I just want to say thank you for your devastation, Tash, because it's meant the world to me and it's actually brought me an enormous amount of joy and gladness. And I've felt very, very loved. Demidi says, Leonie, that's wonderful to hear. I'm so happy for all of you. It's a great reminder to trust the guidance, the angels, the guides, the universe sends us on. So helpful for me right now too. Thank you so much. Natalie says, everything's so beautifully in flow for you. Oh, my friend, you get it. I'll see you in Canberra. Okay. Mel says, I'm in the depths at the moment, but the beautiful thing this time is I know it's part of the adventure and this too shall pass and it serves a purpose. Nothing amazingly positive, life-changing has ever happened in my life without the hard bit before. The hard bit leads to growth and becoming more me, the beauty of age and experience. It's still hard, but in my 20s, I would have struggled so much more this time. Yeah, one of my friends in Canberra, Mr. Paris, I met him on a bus because I was one of those people, if I was on a bus, like public transport, I would talk to people, like what a gold mine. And I made so many amazing friends. And it ended up just turning into this huge crowd of people and we would go out and party together. It was just so fun. And then Paris was like 20 years older than me and just so deeply wise, and his mother was like a Buddhist monk, and it was like he's an astonishing human. And sometimes he would just come out with the most wise things. And I remember we would carpool to work after our bus era, him and my husband and me. And we were all just, driving to work and just silent sometimes. Sometimes we would just chat the whole way. But then out of nowhere, this day it was just so quiet. And he'd say to me, and he just came out and goes, you know what? I think sometimes when we say breakdown, what we really mean is breakthrough, because it's so often that. And those words have come up for me again and again since that time. It's probably, I don't know, 17 years since he said that to us. But it still comes up. And so when I'm going through a process of that dark depths, I'm like, wow, I wonder what's going to emerge from this. I wonder what's going to break through next. Lisa says, I've also been through the biggest transformative period: family sickness, unexpected long-term guests to deal with in my house, a procedure myself, all of which I can see has transformed me and all my close relationships massively. Oh my goodness. Bless you, Lisa. And bless you, it sounds like really intense. And yet you're so cognizant of the beauty that's being born through this period as well. Okay. Mandy says, I run a nonprofit called Everybody is a Treasure Trust. We're in the process of starting a school for kids for whom mainstream education is working. Help me figure out how to manifest 2 buses, please. Ooh, one, that's very exciting. And 2, I would start asking that question. God, Great Spirit, all that is, what would you have me say? What would you have me do? How would you have me see things to the highest light and good of all? I'm willing to see things from a new perspective. And then let those seeds plant. I don't know what this is. I would go to a bus company. Is there ones that they're going to retire soon? Is there, I don't know, bus companies? I don't know. That's what popped into my mind. So be open to the possibilities. Ashley says, thank you for sharing your practice of the golden bridge, Leonie. I'm adopting it. I love your examples, and I see concretely how your energetic practices have aligned. What's next to you? Oh, my love, thank you. Oh, Tasha's got a question. Oh, my God. I know you're a super ambitious person and you love going for fabulously stretchy goals. How do you stay focused on them and stay positive when it's taking forever to get there? So, a few things. One is having a progress report. So every month I have a spreadsheet that has my overarching finance goal of how much, how many million I want in order to be able to retire, live off the investments and travel the world and whatever. If I wanted to retire, probably won't, because I do like talking quite a bit. But to get to that point of being able to not work whatsoever, if I wanted to, because I like freedom. So that was kind of a long-term goal because it's, X amount in net worth. I worked out how much net worth I needed. And then I built it backwards. And as in what I would need every month for the, as my net worth for the 5 years previous to that. And because it was I knew that it took about 5 years or so, possibly less, in order to get to that goal. And so it's just a spreadsheet that's been going on for that period of time. And so I worked out how much I'd need per month in order to work towards that goal. And then every single month when I go into my, at the start of every month, I do payday, and then I also do my money stats, and I look at our portfolio and how it's gone, and then I measure it against that spreadsheet of where I want to go, and I get to color code it green if I've hit the goal for that month. And I want to say, like, I don't always hit the goal for that month. And then some months it just like leapfrogs, like I've gone from like having some red months, and then it leapfrogs over it, and I've like gone 6 months ahead in time of my timeline. But having that monthly check-in process really helps for me because it's a really long-term goal. And for me, like continuing to break things down so that like with launches, I still do a money thermometer. I know you do your color hearts method of, like a butterfly for every $1,000 or whatever. Those I still do like on a really regular basis because it helps me stay on task each day. Okay. I'll just see. I've got to finish up, but just see if there's any more questions that I can quickly answer. Suzanne said, I'm loving this time with Leonie. Thank you for your shared energy and presence. You continue to be a gift. Oh, my love. Oh, my love. Oh, I got to do the love hearts. Here, I'm going to, I'll write in the prayer because people are asking for it to be written. All right, I'll pop that in the chat as well. Okay. Thank you for spending this time with me. I am so grateful that you're all here. I'm so grateful that you got to spend time with me. I'm so grateful I'm so honored that you chose to spend time with me. That's what I mean to say. And I do want to say as well, before I head off, so I have my Brilliant Biz and Life Academy. And if you haven't joined already, I just need to let you know that the Academy is going up in price. It's more than doubling. So it's currently $199 a year. And for new members, it's going to $499 a year. And however, if you're a current member, you get to keep the price that you sign up at. So whatever price that you sign up at, you get to keep that for the whole life of your membership. And so it will just save you so much money. For me, I feel very, it's just been a message that's been coming through for quite a bit for me over many months that I needed to raise the price to make sure it was more of a right energy exchange for new members, because it is over $10,000 of all of my courses, my workshops, my resources, my books, monthly group coaching, and a virtual co-working space as well. It is incredibly, incredibly generous. So I think there's less than 2 weeks left to grab it at the $199 a year rate. You get to keep that rate for the entirety of your membership. It is incredibly transformative. There is so much in there to support you in order to create a really beautiful life and abundant business for yourself. There's literally over 100 programs in there. just years and years of my work that I've poured into it. And I want to make it as accessible for you as possible. So make sure you go try it, check it out, leoniedawson.com/academy. We have about 5,000 members in there. And I would love, love, love to be able to support you in that way and to help you share that big, beautiful light of yours with the world. Susie says, I love the Academy. I'm on the monthly plan. Can I move to the annual plan? Yes, absolutely. Just email us and we will help you get it sorted out. And yeah, make sure you do it in the next couple of weeks so we can get you signed up at the lower rate. That'll be great. Demidi says, thank you as always, Leonie. The Academy was the best investment I've ever made. Oh my goodness. That makes me so happy. And that's exactly what I want to create for people. I hope you have the most blessed day. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. So much love to you, and may you continue to build that golden bridge from where you are right now to where you want to be.